Welcome learners, this is module 7 for unit 3 petrology. In this module, we will be seeing metamorphic rocks like gneiss, schist and quartzite. Myself Sir Kumar from GCE Dharmaburi. In this module, we will be learning about metamorphic rocks, gneiss, schist and quartzite with its description, minerals present, texture and structure, occurrence, properties, uses and distribution. Metamorphic rock, gneiss description. Among different metamorphic rocks, gneiss is more widespread and abundant than others. Gneiss is an easy rock to identify because of its clear parallel bands of contrasting colors as shown in the figure. Gneiss is a general name given to any metamorphic rock which shows a gneiss structure. That is, the name gneiss is given irrespective of the mineral constituents or chemical composition of a rock. In many cases, gneisses are derived from granites. Hence, the mineral composition, grain color, grain size and color will be more or less similar both in granites and gneisses. For this reason, it is commonly referred to as granite gneisses. Minerals present in gneiss. Feldspar and quartz usually make up the bulk of gneisses. These two minerals, which are equidimensional, occurs as constituents of white or pale colored bands showing granular structure, but sometimes these minerals also appear elongated along the direction of foliation. In addition to these two minerals, garnet and sometimes pyroxenes also occurs. Hornblende and biotite commonly make up the dark or black colored bands. These minerals are well aligned, exhibiting a schistose structure. These two bands of different colors occurs alternatingly, producing a typical gneiss structure in the rock. The other minerals which may also occasionally occur in gneisses are chlorite, sillimanite, thias, garnet. Actually, it is kaolinite. Here it is given wrong. It is kaolinite, garnet, sterolite, teak, serpentine, etc. Texture and structure of gneisses. Generally equigranular but sometimes porphyroplastic. Foliation, that is alignment of minerals, is characteristically seen. Constituent minerals typically occur as alternating white and black color bands, but the bands are generally not continuous and appears as elongated streaks or threads. In a few cases, foliation appears in a very ideal manner. The degree of perfectness of foliation is roughly a measure of the intensity of metamorphism. The thickness of white and black bands is usually equal, though sometimes different bands may have different thickness. Thickness of each band may vary from a millimeter to few centimeters. Gneiss occurrence and distribution. Gneisses are usually formed out of dynamothermal metamorphism of granites, syenites, sandstones and conglomerates. Among these, granite gneiss is far more abundant than all others. In other words, orthogenesis are more common and abundant than paragenesis. Due to close mineralogical and other resemblance, granite sizes may be treated as varieties of granites themselves. In a majority of the cases, granites after their formation are affected by metamorphism of different intensities. Hence, alignment of minerals through weight often occurs in many granites. Hence, such rocks are appropriately called as granite rocks. For example, granites of the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad are in fact, in most of the cases, granite gneisses only. Gneisses are the most predominant rocks of the Archean era, which occupy nearly 2/3 of our peninsula, almost 67% of our peninsula. So, they are very common and plenty in occurrence. Properties of gneisses. Its diagnostic character is foliation. Colors different shade of grey pink occurs. Grain size medium to coarse grained. Gneisses is reasonably non-porous and impermeable, contributing to its strength. As gneisses is a silica-rich rock, it is durable. By virtue of mineralogical similarity to granite, gneisses also have pleasing colors. The gneiss structure, with its alternating bands of contrasting colors on polishing, produces very good appearance. The foliation to some extent improves the workability of gneiss. The occurrence of gneiss in plenty in many places make it an important building stone or material. Perpendicular to the foliation, the gneisses are more competent. However, if the foliation is well developed and if prismatic and plating minerals occur in considerable portions, this rock splits with relative ease along the planes of foliation. This renders the rock weak. Further, the banded character makes the rock inherently weak along foliation. Uses of gneisses. In general, gneisses is treated on par with granite. Hence, used in all civil engineering works and contexts for which granite is deemed suitable. That is, it is used at the site rock to serve as foundation, as a constructional unit, as an aggregate, as road metal, as railway ballast, as facing stone, as load bearing beams or pillars, and also it is competent for tunneling works and does not require any lining. The next metamorphic rocks is schist. Description. Like gneisses, schist is also a very common metamorphic rock, and it is a general name given to all the metamorphic rocks bearing a particular structure. Here, schistose structure. Further, like gneiss, it is also a characteristically foliated rock, but schist differs from gneisses in many respects. Minerals present in schist. Schists are mainly composed of prismatic or platy minerals which contribute to the development of the schistose structure. The prismatic minerals which occur commonly in schists are actinolite, tremolite, hornblende, sillimanite and tourmaline, etc. Chlorite, muscovite, biotite, talc, kyanite are the common platy minerals occurring in schists. In addition to this, a few equidimensional minerals may also be present in schists which occur intercalated in between other minerals. Such equidimensional minerals are quartz, garnet, starlite, cordierite, etc. Of the aforementioned minerals, hornblende, biotite and quartz are more predominantly found. Texture and structure of schist. Constituent minerals occur with perfect alignment. Good lineation of foliation occurs. Depending upon when prismatic or platy minerals occurs predominantly. Most often, equidimensional minerals which occur in small quantities are found as isolated lenticular patches, sometimes giving a porphyroblastic texture. As the name indicates, the characteristic structure shown by schist is always schistose. Occurrence and distribution of schist. Schists occur in many places and frequently too because of the derivation from a large variety of rocks, especially out of shales, which are very common sedimentary rocks. Schists are widespread in Karnataka plateau. Schists are confined within small packets in the central India, south of Mandla. Properties and uses of schist. Color. Different schists show different colors. For example, muscovite mica schist is dazzling silvery white in color. Biotite schist is jet black in color. Chlorite schist is dark green in color, and so on. Grain size. This is variable. Some schists are fine grained while other are medium grained or coarse grained. Schists in general considered weak, incompetent, harmful and undesirable rocks from the civil engineering point of view. This is because of the following reasons. Biotite, hornblende, etc. which occurs as the usual dominant minerals make the rock unpleasantly colored. The general predominance of a single mineral in schist makes them look dull and monotonous in appearance. The minerals of schist such as tan, fluorite, biotite, muscovite and serpentine are relatively very soft. Hence, these rocks are not hard, strong and durable. The cleavage character, which is well developed in most of the minerals of schist, also contributes to the weakness of rocks and makes them disintegrate easily. Further, a good number of minerals of schist are ferruginous and susceptible to decay or decomposition. Above all, the excellent foliation present is an undesirable character of schist from the civil engineering point of view because it makes the rock break very easily. Thus, the various properties of schist make it unsuitable for any important civil engineering purposes such as site rock for foundation, as a building stone, as aggregate for concrete making, as road metal, as railway ballast. Also, it contributes frequently to groundwater problems. Therefore, it is unsuitable for tunneling also. One of the main factors for the failure of St. Francis Dam in USA was that it was constructed over schist rock. The next metamorphic rock we are going to see is quartzite. Description of quartzite. It is an example of parametamorphic rock, means it is derived from sedimentary rock, not from igneous rock. It is siliceous in composition and is formed out of dynamic or thermal or dinothermal metamorphism of sandstones. As we told, it is the metamorphic rock of sandstone. Pure quartz or feldspathic sandstones or metamorphism are simply recrystallized into rocks of these minerals with a granular structure. These quartzites are formed in this way. This crystallization process results in the complete disappearance of clastic characters of parent sandstone, such as the presence of cementing material, bedding plates, fossil content, etc. The quartzites often have a vitreous luster. These changes make the rock denser, more compact, harder, stronger, very less porous and less permeable than the parent sandstone. During metamorphism, the argillaceous, calcareous, ferruginous impurities which may occur considerably as cementing material or otherwise in sandstone are transformed into minerals appropriate to their composition. But quartz, which is the bulk component of sandstone, remains neutral and simply recrystallized. Minerals present in quartzite. Quartz is the essential or predominating constituent. Some quartzites are more or less exclusively composed of quartz. The other minerals which may occur in small quantities are mica, garnet, feldspar, pyroxene, chlorite, kyanite, epidote, magnetite, etc. Texture and structure of quartzite. As we have seen, all the quartzite rocks are granulous in structure. It is crystalline, dense and compact. No alternating color bands occurs as in the case of schist or gneiss. No foliation occurs unless associated with micaceous minerals. Occurrence and distribution of quartzite. As already mentioned, quartzites are formed due to metamorphism of sandstones. They usually occur as bedded formations. They may be thick or thin. Often they are found associated with other metamorphic rocks like schist. Some Archean formations of India, which are popularly called banded hematite quartzites or banded hematite jaspers, are the formations from which the inexhaustible iron ore reserves of India have formed, and our country can be rightly proud of them. The famous Balaji temple of Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh rests on Nagari quartzites, which are exposed very prominently on the sacred hills as thick beds of many kilometers. Properties of quartzite. Its color. It occurs in red, brown, grey, green and also other colors also occur. Grain size. Variable. Some rocks are very fine grained while others may be coarse grained. Fracture. In fine grained rocks, the broken surface is generally conchoidal or subconchoidal. The edges are sharp and the broken pieces are often splintery. Hardness. Very hard, not scratched by glass or penknife. Appearance. Look fresh and shining. Acid test. There is no reaction to acids. The silica composition of the rock makes it highly durable and resistant to weathering. The predominance of quartz makes the rock very hard. The recrystallization process which produces these rocks make them dense and stronger. Further, this process not only obliterates the cementing material presence, of which contributed to the weakness of the parent sandstone, but also effectively reduces the porosity and permeability of parent rock. This means that the rock is made more competent. Uses of quartzite rock. The quartzite rock is strong, hard, durable and has a pleasing color. But by virtue of its very high hardness, the workability or dressing becomes very difficult. Therefore, when it occurs as thin formation or when it is associated with suitably placed joints, useful building stones or dimension stones are obtained. Quartzite rocks are highly suitable as railway ballast, concrete, aggregate, paving blocks. They are also useful in the manufacture of silica bricks. Quartzites are suitable as site rocks for foundation. Being impervious, they are desirable at reservoirs sites. Being competent, they do not require any lining in case of tunneling through them. Pure quartz has economic importance as it is useful in different industries. Thank you.